thank you all for thank you for getting on this channel. Thank you for getting on this page and listening to what I'm about to say. Ace Hardball Info is actually talking about various. We're going to take on various topics and have this conversation. But I'm going to take it's my perspective, my idea, my own way of seeing things, and that's how I'm going to go with it. And if you feel like there's something which you will like or you do not like, it's okay to address that, but let's be polite and let's be respectful. That's what I would say. And that's to start with. Today we're going to start on something which is really key. There's no formality in here, there's no protocol or whatever. I'm going to just talk. And I'm talking from the perspective of just a layman. It's not about giving expert advice or anything like that. That's not what it is. It's just about being able to express yourself in a certain way or in how your beliefs are. And that's what I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to address a topic today, which is something that has been in my mind for a long time. And I thought that it's worth me putting that out there. And that is about being religious versus being God fearing. So, being religious versus being God fearing. You know, some of us grew up in predominantly Christian backgrounds. It's no hidden thing. It's clear as day. Went to Christian institutions, went to, pray several times a day, went to church, had Christian families and all that. So, but then the aspect of being religious versus being God fearing is something that has always had this debate within me. And I'm sure many people have that debate, have that argument within them as to what is it to be religious as opposed to what is it to be God fearing. Now, the concept of being religious and being God fearing often emerges in discussions about spirituality and faith. That's true. Yet, they are distinct in focus and expression. So, while both of these can guide individuals towards moral and ethical living, they represent different approaches to understanding and connecting with the divine. The divine in this case is going to be whosoever you conceive him or whatsoever you conceive that to be. So, being religious, to my understanding, typically involves participation in organized systems of belief, complete with rituals, doctrines, and communal worship where you come together. It provides a structured framework for faith and shared sense of identity within a religious community. So that's what I believe, what it means typically to be religious. Now, on the other side, being God fearing is, I believe, more of a personal and internal thing. It emphasizes a deep reverence and accountability to a higher power. So people have looked at God to be whom they perceive him to be. It could be anybody. That I will not go into because I'm sure that we all understand that various people, even within our family, our friends, and ever, have their own God which they worship. But we won't talk about that because this is not what this conversation here today is meant for. So, this distinction definitely highlights an important question which every one of us should be able to ask. Is it possible to practice religion without a genuine connection to God? Take a breath. Is it possible to practice religion without a genuine connection to God? Or, let me put it this way, can one live a deeply spiritual life without adhering to a formal religion? Can one live a deeply spiritual life without adhering to a formal religion? So, in this discussion, I will explore the differences and intersections between these two paths, examining how they influence our moral compass, spiritual growth, and daily life. Understanding the nuances of being religious versus God fearing does not only provide insight into faith, but also definitely encourages introspection about what drives our beliefs and, of course, our actions. And so that's what we're going to be looking at. I'm going to have that conversation on here today. Now, so that I will share my point of view with regards to this. Now, my point of view is not your point of view. Your point of view is going to be yours, but this is mine. In the comment section, just tell me what you believe because I know that we all have different belief systems and it's worth giving everybody a chance to express what they believe. This is mine. So, let me dive right into it. Talking about being religious. Being religious typically refers to actively participating in organized practices, rituals, or traditions which are associated with a specific religion. That's being religious. Now, this could involve, attending places of worship, observing religious holidays, reading sacred texts, or adhering to prescribed rules or doctrine. Religion often comes with a community and structure that provides moral guidelines and a shared sense of identity. So, what are those characteristics of being religious or of a religion? So, I know we're going to have like ceremonies and rituals. We're going to have affiliation with a specific denomination of faith. So, you'll be in a Catholic, a Baptist, a Pentecostal, Presbyterian, and so on and so forth. Emphasizes on doctrine and collective worship, visible practices like fasting, praying, charity, and all that. Those are all characteristics of being religious. Now, with those characteristics will come potential limitations, of course. What are those limitations? Sometimes religious practices can become more of external compliance than an internal belief. And this can lead to what is sometimes called performative religiosity. That is where it's just that performance without a deep spiritual connection. That's the thing about it all. Now, We spoke about being religious. Now let's talk about the aspect of God fearing. God fearing, on the other hand, is a lot more centered on a personal, internalized relationship with a higher power. It's normally characterized by reverence, respect, and the awe of God, whomever, whatever you conceive him to be. Normally, it involves living in a way that reflects this deep respect, often prioritizing moral integrity and spiritual values over strict adherence to rituals. So the term fear in this context is has more to do with profound respect as opposed to, some kind of terror. It's a lot more about profound respect and accountability. That's where that fear comes in. And talking about that, what are some of those key traits of it? So there's a personal devotion and spiritual connection. There are emphasis on moral conduct and values. Internalizes a sense of respect. Internalized sense of respect, accountability to God. That is God fearing. It often transcends specific religious structures. So it's not about just this Catholic, this Presbyterian, this Anglican. It transcends that. It's a lot more than that. So, in a broader perspective, a God fearing person, to my understanding, may or may not follow an organized religion, but, but often demonstrates compassion, humility, and a strong ethical framework inspired by their belief in a higher power. That's what I believe a God fearing person is. And that's what I believe being God fearing is all about. So let's go into like discussion points here. Let's look at, first of all, let's talk about the differences between those two. According to some arguments, it says that religion can become a hollow routine if not paired with genuine reverence for God. Others feel that one can fear God without participating in religious systems. That's the belief of others. So you see, those two, that's where those roads actually collide. While some argue that religion can become a hollow routine if it's not paired with genuine reverence for God, others feel that one can fear God without necessarily participating in religious systems. That's the difference. You have an overlap though, where can one be both religious and God fearing? The answer to that is going to be absolutely true. Many people find their religious practices deepen their relationship with God, and vice versa, where you find that because of the practices you carry out, thanks to being religious, it helps you build a lot more of a stronger bond, connection to God. And of course, on the other side, some people feel because of their very strong belief in God, it helps them adhere a lot more to their religious practice. But then, while we have those differences as well as we have the overlap, we definitely have challenges. Is being religious without being God fearing just a cultural identity? That's the question. Being religious without being God fearing, is it just a cultural identity? I don't have an answer to that, but we can observe the world around us and think about it. And being God fearing exists without structure, guidance from religion. Can you just go out there and declare yourself as a God fearing person without actually having these guiding principles that take charge of what you do, how you do, when you do it? It's a question. Now, if we're looking at cultural perspectives on all of this, the balance between these two concepts, that is, being religious and being God fearing, can vary widely across cultures and also from individual to individual. For example, in some societies, emphasis are placed more on external religion practices, while others value personal spirituality. Look at that. Some societies place a lot more emphasis on external religious practices, such as, you have the whole Stations of the Cross in the Catholic faith. You kneel, you pray, you bow, and all of that. You genuflect, you send. While others just value that personal spirituality, such as they believe you do good from within. It's not necessarily what you show, it's how you act. That's your spirituality. It's what you do when no one is watching. What are those responsibilities you choose to take to help in making sure that life is better for you and all those around you? So, in my personal reflection, this is what I would say. And this I would throw it out to you as well. Do you think that being religious or God fearing carries more weight in today's society? I have my take on that. Being religious or God fearing carries more weight in today's society. And how do these concepts play a role in our lives and our beliefs? That's something which we have to all reflect on. Because for so long, we have these two concepts. One is being God fearing, and one is being religious. Now, I've seen there are areas where they will overlap, while we have differences as well, and then we have challenges. And it varies from culture to culture. So, what is your personal belief? What is your personal reflection on this as you think about these two concepts? God fearing versus being religious. Thank you all, and see you next time.